With Shang-Chi finally here, we are able to once again see Emil Blonsky's Abomination in the flesh after over a decade, making him officially the MCU's oldest recurring villain to date, with many fans clamoring to not only see his return, but to see where he might be headed in the near future of the MCU. It is worth mentioning that there will be minor spoilers for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings ahead, but nothing related to the overarching plot, relationships, or main cast members. So stick with us, watchers of the Marvel Multiverse, as we break down the Abomination's role in Shang-Chi and theorize about some possibilities for his future in the MCU going forward. The Abomination's role was rather minimal, and almost all of the footage of his presence in the movie was used in promotional materials, meaning that if you've seen all of the Shang-Chi trailers, you've effectively seen the entirety of Abomination's role, which consisted of him battling against Wong, being ultimately defeated and sent back to what perhaps appears to be a prison, but not before getting some words of encouragement from Wong, who not only appears to be a good sport, but a teacher and comrade of sorts who is on rather friendly terms with Emil Blonsky. After the fight, Wong opens up a portal for Abomination to return to wherever he came from, and while we can't get a perfectly clear look at this place, it appears as if it may in fact be a prison. It seems as if Wong may be freeing Blonsky from prison for intermittent periods of time in order to allow him to participate in these cage fights, seemingly without the knowledge of the US government. Though it's important to note that this is speculative as of now, and it's possible that the Abomination is actually free and this is not a prison, although it does actually appear to be a prison and a cell in the background. In a prior video, we theorized where exactly this prison might have been based on Abomination concept art and storyboards regarding the Abomination's return in Age of Ultron, which was of course scrapped. And if these details are still canon, then he is most likely being held in a maximum security superhuman containment facility in Barrow, Alaska, known as the Vault. But for the full breakdown, check out our video on what happened to Abomination after the events of the Incredible Hulk, which I will link in the description, just to catch up of the events between the Incredible Hulk to Shang-Chi. So what does this mean for the Abomination's future? The most popular theory is that his appearance is setting up his inclusion in the newly formed Dark Avengers team alongside Val, John Walker, and Yelena Belova, serving as an anti-Hulk of sorts where the others act as dark mirrors to Captain America and Black Widow. And many believe he is next in line to be approached by Val regarding a membership slot. There are a few points of contention between whether or not this team will be formed around the concept of the Dark Avengers or the Thunderbolts from the comics, but for this video we will be using the term Dark Avengers as a catch-all, seeing as the team seems to be a dark mirror of the original Avengers roster, but this team may very well be the Thunderbolts or in some way affiliated or related to said Thunderbolts. If this is the case, then it's highly likely that either Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross or Val either have some level of access or control of the vault, and if this is the case, then they could, in theory, arrange for the Abomination's paroled release under the guise of a quote-unquote community service, which of course would entail working with the Dark Avengers in exchange for a number of different possible rewards. They could offer him a reduced sentence for his crimes in Harlem, as well as a chance to get back at Bruce Banner and finally settle the score that was started all the way back in 2008's The Incredible Hulk. It has also been confirmed that the Abomination will be returning for the upcoming She-Hulk series, in which he very likely will serve as a principal antagonist or even an anti-hero of sorts, as he's clearly not an antagonist in Shang-Chi. Throughout his minimal scene in Shang-Chi, he seems to show significant character growth, apparently letting go of his power-mongering ways and partaking in a competition where he seems to generally fight fairly and respectfully. This is not to say he's not still a brutish behemoth, but in the locker room after the scene, he seems to continually regard Wong with respect and honor, not being overcome with rage like he did after being bested by the Hulk. Throughout the duration of the Incredible Hulk film, Blonsky seemingly had his sights set on one goal: besting the Jade Giant. And he sought to do this by any means necessary, subjecting himself to experimental super soldier treatment and ultimately forcing Dr. Samuel Stearns to transform his body into the mutated being known as the Abomination that we see today. Blonsky was willing to sacrifice his body, mind, and sanity for just a taste of the Hulk's incredible power and raw strength. giving up this human form in the process. But this sense of revenge, driven by determination, seems to be all but gone by this point in Blonsky's life, leaving us to wonder how much he has changed since the last time we saw him in 2008. He regards Wong as an equal, and even a comrade of sorts, and he seems to accept his loss gracefully, returning without a fight and possibly preparation for his next outing. But he does not seem to be consumed by the same drive that we saw in the Incredible Hulk, at least not so far as we can tell. If he joins the Dark Avengers, it's possible that he may do so rather reluctantly, perhaps only doing so in order to commute his sentence, which would continually destabilize the foundation of the Dark Avengers, seeing as Yelena Belova is only a candidate because she is being lied to by Val. If another member of the Dark Avengers does not have the ironclad devotion of someone like Walker, then this could be the fatal flaw that results in the dismantling of the Dark Avengers roster, and bringing Val down for good. But again, this is merely speculation based on the very few hints that we see from Blonsky's character in his few moments of screen time in Shang-Chi. This could also allow Blonsky to have contacts on the outside world unbeknownst to anyone at the Vault. Blonsky is a talented tactician and brilliant military strategist, and maintaining these contacts while on Val's leash could allow him to construct a captivating, ulterior motive to escape the criminal underworld and live a life in relative freedom, making him a much more complex, three-dimensional character that could be fascinating to see unfold. Marvel has a tendency to create compelling human-feeling villains in recent years, with many of their latest villains being much more sympathetic and relatable than in the first few years of the MCU's inception, and this could simply be the next step. The principal antagonist in Shang-Chi, Wenwu, is a fine addition to this list of relatable, compelling Marvel antagonists to grace the screen in recent years. And while the most popular and most grounded antagonists typically consist of Eric Killmonger, Adrian Toomes, Baron Zemo, and Loki, adding the Abomination to this list while simultaneously tapping into his past history as one of the MCU's oldest villains could make for an increasingly layered villain who has not only had his debut appearance to his name, but also that of Shang-Chi, She-Hulk, and potentially more to come. But anyway, my friends, what do you think of the Abomination's role in Shang-Chi? And what do you think of the film as a whole? Where do you think we can next expect to see the Abomination resurface? And what would you like to see his character arc entail? As always, my friends, hit that subscribe button to assemble and join our team, and have a great day.